So the funniest shit I've heard all week, my friend Savix calling me the face of trying MMOs.
I played a Warrior Arms and Classic First launch to level 50-ish. Then there's your story right there. Be like, hey, what's up, guys? My name is Kanon, face of trying out MMOs. And today I'm going to reopen the chapter and revisit my classic World of Warcraft. And I didn't get to finish my Warrior back then, but I'm going to finish it this time. And you get to 60 with that. Boom. There it is.
As the face of trying MMOs, I gotta admit, I never actually tried Neverwinter, and I'm kind of glad I tried it recently. Tried it yesterday to be exact, because the game is low-key kind of fire. Well, at least the early game is. Let me be clear here. I have no idea how good this game is at the end game. This game could completely suck at the end game. I don't know. I heard it didn't, but that's just hearsay. But what I do know is that this game delivered one of the best early game experiences that I've had in an MMO for a while, and it was good enough for me to want to dive deeper into this game. I'm going to stream it on Twitch, by the way. I'm streaming there daily, so come hang out if you want to check out the game for yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like the experience was some revolutionary one where you had to see it to believe it. No, what made the early game experience so good is that it just did all the little things right. Modern day MMOs often feel too automated, mindless, spammy, too much hand-holding, frustrating with mobile-focused UI. Old school MMOs often feel overly slow, boring, and lacking quality of life a bit too much. Neverwinter has a straightforward PC-focused UI UX that's not frustrating to deal with. It has game systems that don't require a college degree to understand, and importantly, are presented in a way where you can pretty much figure it out just by looking at it, while still clearly being systems that have a lot of depth and optionality. The new player experience, quite simply, is just very good. It's easy to understand, not overwhelming, and also doesn't feel automated. Pacing is also pretty solid. The early quests do give you a sense of progression, getting gear, seeing numbers go up, and getting visual progression. By the way, there are no paid cosmetics in the game. If you want your character to look badass, you gotta go farm the gear in-game and utilize the transmog system. Something pretty much no MMO does anymore. I'm not talking about the transmog system, I'm talking about monetizing paid cosmetics. When it comes to the questing, on paper, it is pretty generic. You'll go through your standard MSQ line, which I'd say is just above average when it comes to MMO questing, but the experience of it is definitely enhanced because of the combat. The combat is a really interesting action combat system that really grew on me. Generally in tab target MMOs, you have abilities that do single target and some that do AoE, whereas action combat games, generally everything AoEs, because even basic attacks cleave. The action combat in Neverwinter utilizes the single target AoE system that you see in tab targeting. The game is 100% action combat where you aim at the target to attack them, but if you use a single target ability, for example, my basic attack left mouse button, it will only hit the target you're aiming at and no one else. I'm also able to aim and change targets at will based off of my cursor, and despite the animation locks for the skills, I am able to cancel out of them or readjust my attacks in real time based on where my cursor is. Overall, a really good system. I felt the two-handed melee class felt great. Apparently all the other classes feel just as good, if not better, according to my chat. Honestly, the combat system being fire really didn't surprise me, by the way, considering this game came recommended to me by my boy Flowers, XP Flowers, who is one of the best Draconias in BDO in the NA region. Anytime a BDO Andy recommends you a game to check out, chances are the combat in that game is probably going to be pretty solid. Speaking of classes, that's another W I would say Neverwinter has. You have a lot of really fun classes to choose from, and on top of that, a wide range of races to choose from as well, each with their own individual racial passives. A big thing for me, though, are guild features, things that I can do with my community or guild. This is another area this game seems too hard to deliver on. Guilds can have up to 500 characters, It has its own progression system that's worth grinding, and a huge guild stronghold that would be better labeled as a region. I shit you not, the guild base is like an actual region with a ton of content built into it, ranging from bosses, PvE and PvP sieges, to base building, Clash of Clan-like stuff. As someone who is playing this game for the first time, not only are the first few hours of gameplay easy to understand and fun to play, but the amount of content ahead also seems to be there. I have literally been sleeping on this game, it feels like right now. But before we gas this up too much, what are the major downsides then? My big three would be, number one, the game isn't a true open world. Like pretty much all MMOs during this time period, the world is segmented by regions and maps with shards built into each one. Two, due to the low player pop, PvP is pretty much dead, from what I'm hearing at least. And three, the pay to win. The first point, not really a deal breaker for me personally. The second point, not the worst thing for me as well, because if my community jumps into it and others do as well, maybe the PvP could come back. But even if it doesn't, as long as the PvE is solid, then that's fine. And the third point, yeah, most people will tell you this game died because of the pay to win. Pay to win is obviously a polarizing subject, with everyone having their own opinion about it, different tolerance levels. So here's what I could gather as someone who had a lot of experienced players in my channel explaining it to me. If you disagree with this, by the way, feel free to share it in the comments. But we had about 1,200 people or so in the chat, and this was the overall general consensus. The pay to win was historically really bad, but in recent years has been adjusted to the point where free-to-play players can obtain everything a spender can and catch up to the whales in gear. However, the whales will always get their gear first because they can simply swipe for it. A free-to-play player can reach the gear ceiling in 4-ish months of active play. There are around 3 expansions per year, each expansion pushing the gear ceiling up roughly 20 to 30% higher. When the gear ceiling increases, the free-to-play player will probably take around 2 months or so to hit the new ceiling. This is pretty much what was relayed to me, so take that as you will. All in all, I'm having a lot of fun with the game right now, and I give it a solid A grade, specifically for the early hours of play. Like I said, I have no idea how it will hold up in the mid game or in the end game, but seeing as there really isn't much on the table outside of WoW in the MMO scene, this is currently my best option if I'm looking for a new experience. And that is going to wrap up our first video of 2026. Thank you guys so much for staying subs all the way through 2025. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of Neverwinter. Is this a game that you want to dive back into? Is it on your radar? Have you been playing it the whole time? I am definitely interested in checking out more of the game, and I will have a follow-up video. So be sure to sub to the channel if you guys want to check that out. See you guys in the next video.